Welcome back to the fifth quarter. We made it to our third podcast. Today we're going to be previewing the NFL Week 2. I'm joined by JC again. If you watched the last podcast, he was here for the NFL preview for all the division rankings, the Week 1 pick'ems, and we're glad to have him back for Week 2. So JC, thanks for joining us again.
Of course, thank you for having me. We got an exciting show tonight.
All right, we'll dive right into it. Let's look at the Week 2 matchups. Starting tomorrow, we got a great Thursday night football game. The Washington Commanders heading to Lambeau to face the Green Bay Packers. Both had strong performances in Week 1, arguably some of the top in the league. So we'll start with JC. This Thursday night football game, who you got?
I give a slight edge to the Packers. I thought that them coming out, beating the Lions, the Lions didn't really have anything going for them offensively. We clearly saw the hit that their offense took, losing their coordinator. We kind of all saw that coming, but the Packers did look better. Despite being a Vikings fan, I do like Jordan Love. I think he's solid, somewhere in the top 10 to 15 quarterback range. He can get it done. And I think, if anything, this game's only decided by a field goal. So we'll leave it at that. Love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I think the spread on this game is 3.5 for the Packers, I believe, but I'm going to take the Commanders here. I just trust in their offense more. I understand having a whole offseason to prepare for the Lions for the Packers' sake. Getting to have that whole preparation against a division rival, I feel like it makes it a little bit easier. Obviously, great performance from the defense, great performance from Micah Parsons, excellent game plan against the Lions. I mean, coaching excellence right there. But give me the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. And like you said, I like them by a field goal here. On to the next matchup. We got an NFC divisional matchup in the NFC East. The New York Giants, coming off a Commanders massive loss, are heading against the Cowboys in Jerry World. Giants, Cowboys, who you got?
See, at least the Cowboys were able to compete with the Eagles, and it looked like they were going to win that game for about 3/4 of it, but we all know how that went. I'm going to go Cowboys by a touchdown. The Giants just aren't there yet. I mean, yeah, the Giants can come out and play a good game every here and there. They got talent, they got Neighbors, they got Tracy. It's not happening Sunday. Cowboys by 7.
I think if I was taking this matchup just based off the week 1, you would have to take the Cowboys here. But I'm going to take the Giants in an upset here. I think they're going to perform much better. I think Russell Wilson is going to have better protection this week. The O-line seemed to fizzle out last week. And the Cowboys' defensive pass rush is really not as good with Micah Parsons being gone now. So give me the Giants here in an upset. Next matchup, we got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Great matchup here. Love this matchup. Who do you got?
Well, this one could truly go either way. Honestly, the only reason why I'm going to take the Steelers is because I thought Old Man Rodgers looked great last week, which, it initially it was a surprise, but after about the first quarter, you saw him throw a couple passes. He still had it in it, and we weren't too shocked with how that game ended. It's Aaron Rodgers. So let me go Steelers, get the edge. This one's going to be lower scoring, and we'll say by a field goal.
It's funny. Last week we said Steelers Jets. This is going to be a defensive matchup, and it just completely was the opposite of that. I mean, no one expected that. But give me the Seahawks here, going into Pittsburgh, getting the win. Sam Darnold gets his first win as quarterback of the Seahawks. Next matchup for you. The LA Rams face Cam Ward and the Titans in Nashville. Who you got?
You want to see a guy like Ward ball out, but common theme that we're going to be seeing through these first couple weeks is he's not ready yet. The Rams get the edge here. They looked good. They're a more complete team. They don't have the same level of problems and concerns that the Titans have. Let's go Rams by 6.
I like that. I'm going to take the Rams by 13 here. I think Cam Ward looked really good. He showed some flashes, which is really what you're hoping for. I think that their offense still lacked. They had way too many field goals, and I think they had 4 field goals, no touchdowns. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think that is going to hurt them. And I think the Rams, after escaping Houston, which was a defensive battle, the Rams offense really comes to life here. And give me the Rams by 13. I expect them to score over 30 points this week. Next matchup, an AFC East divisional matchup, Bills versus Jets. Who you got?
Well, I hope everybody saw Sunday night's game between the Bills and the Ravens, because I was sitting there screaming at my TV that Josh Allen was going to win the MVP right then and there. I thought that that was some of the best played football that I've seen in my whole career, right? And I watched the Vikings upset the Colts not too long ago. I watched the Minneapolis Miracle. You'd be crazy not to take the Bills in this game. Coming off of that, everybody's a Josh Allen fanboy right now. Let's see it again. They're not even going to need to see it again. They're going to be up by 2 scores this whole game. Give me the Bills next.
Yeah, give me the Bills here to take a commanding early lead and not let it go. Bills in an easy win here. Another AFC East divisional matchup. My Patriots head to Miami, which historically has been a difficult task for them to face the Dolphins. Patriots at Dolphins. Who you got?
You know, like you said, historically, the Patriots struggle when they go to Miami. Not to mention, you got Miami Mike, who's about this close to losing his job. He's got like 4 of the best offensive players in the league, and things have clicked before, but they're not consistent. You don't get paid to come out and be the head coach of an NFL team to be good sometimes. You got to be good all the time. You got to be consistent. But I believe in this guy. We've seen what he can do. I think the Dolphins get it done. They get back on track.
You know, there's so many pessimistic things I could say about the Patriots' performance and why they're going to lose this game. But I can say the same thing on the other side. The Dolphins are going to be starting a new right guard and a new right tackle on that side of the line. And Harold Landry coming off a 3-sack performance for the Patriots. Although the Patriots' defensive coordinator, Terrence Williams, is away from the team right now, not expected to coach this week. So this is such a hard matchup to predict. But might be a little bit of bias here. Give me the Patriots to go down to Miami, get their first win of the season in a very close game. Give me the Patriots here, 27-24. All right, heading into honestly a very good matchup. I mean, this is a surprising matchup. You know, 2 teams that you kind of forget about sometimes. The Jaguars head to Cincinnati to face the Bengals. Who you got?
You know, this one's gonna be a little worse of an answer, because how people are starting to figure out I'm a closet Bengals fan. I can't help myself. You know, I could see this being a I could see this being a close game, but to be honest, I'm probably gonna take the Bengals to win every single time they come up. It'll be a medium to high scoring game. We'll see how the younger guys do. I mean, I want to see Travis Hunter go off personally. I want to see him keep taking a high amount of snaps at receiver. I think that's going to be what gets him in NFL shape the fastest, is letting him make those plays, use his athleticism. I want to see BTJ be a little bit more involved. Super electric receiver. Nonetheless, Bengals are going to get it done, and probably going to be saying that almost every time that they come up.
Just for a heads up, it was noted today that Travis Hunter will be playing more defensive snaps this week. So, like we said in our last video in the NFL preview, I'm not sure. I think you might have said this with me or not, but projecting him to be more of a cornerback with that third down wide receiver as the season goes on, and already into week 2, it looks like it's kind of progressing to that. But in this game, I'm going to take another upset here. Give me the Jaguars to go into Cincinnati and sneak out of a win. Give me them 21-20. I'm expecting a big game from Jamar Chase after disappointing week 1. Same with Brian Thomas Jr. And who knows what we're going to see from Travis Hunter on the offensive side here. Also, Tank Bigsby was traded. So now instead of having a three-set backfield for the Jaguars, they're going to be relying on Tutton and ETN back there. So that is something that's interesting, something to follow as their offense shifts in just 1 week into the season. Next matchup for you, you got the Brock Purdy and George Kittle-less 49ers heading down to the Bayou to face the Saints. Mac Jones is likely the starter. bearing an unforeseen medical comeback from Brock Purdy. So the Mac Jones led 49ers without George Kittle, facing Spencer Rattler and the Saints in a matchup that might not ever make it to red zone. Who you got?
See, here's the thing. It doesn't matter what I say because nobody's going to see this game. Nobody's going to tune in. And red zone, even if they're in the red zone, they're not going to put it on. Nobody wants to see the Rattlesnake throw his third career TD. Nobody wants to see Mac Jones hand the ball to Christian McCaffrey. I don't even care who wins this game. Give me the 49ers in a scoop and skull go ahead touchdown.
In a thrilling 3-2 victory. Give me the 49ers here. This is going to be Christian McCaffrey and them. This is going to be like 2020 Montverde, Cade and them. It's going to be McCaffrey and them because no one wants to watch this game. Heading into, honestly, another pathetic matchup here. You got the Cleveland Browns heading to Baltimore to face the Ravens. Who you got?
I mean, you'd have to be dropped on your head when you were born not to take the Ravens here. I mean, the Ravens could accidentally win this game. The Ravens could throw in their fourth string practice squad quarterback and win this game. It's not going to be a tough one. This is going to be the blowout of the week. Derrick Henry could play tight end and the Ravens could still win this game. Any way you want it, Ravens by 21. You heard it here first.
Yeah, last week I picked the Browns in the upset of the week to beat the Bengals. They almost had it. They missed a field goal, like a chip shot. They should have had it. Was highly disappointed, but highly impressed by Joe Flacco. Some might say that Joe Flacco, an elite quarterback. And I think he kind of showed why he earned that starting role over, Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel. But give me the Ravens here in a blowout. Give me them 37-19. I don't know why 19. It's a little bit of a random score, but you never know, a safety or something happens. So heading into another divisional matchup, a lot of divisional matchups. This one is very interesting. Ben Johnson and the Bears heading back to Detroit to face his former team, the Lions. Who you got?
Well, here's the thing. At the halftime break of the Vikings-Bears game, Caleb Williams applied his third and fourth layer of nail polish, hence allowing J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings to come back. Because of that, completely correlated, I think the Lions are going to bounce back harder after both of these teams losing in week 1.
Yeah, that was an absolutely electric and also, if you're a Bears fan, probably pathetic performance. What a game on Monday Night Football. But give me the Lions in a bounce back game. Yeah, I like the Lions here. I think they'll bounce back. Need to see more targets for Amon-Ra and see Jameson Williams get the ball more. Jahmyr Gibbs looked amazing in that game, despite how rough their offense looked. But yeah, give me the Lions in a bounce back game. No doubt about that one. All right, we got the Peyton Manning game. The Denver Broncos head to Indiana to face Indiana, Daniel Jones, and the Colts. Who you got?
Well, here's the thing here. So the Colts week 1 completely overshot their expectations, and the Broncos the opposite. So do we expect Daniel Jones to come out and absolutely light it up this week? I wouldn't say we're expecting it. I hope it happens. I think a lot of people would want to see that happen, but just to go back and think about what mathematically would make sense. Both teams come back down to their average. The Broncos get the edge here. Close game, 21-19. You never know when 19 is going to happen because there could be a safety with the edge to the Broncos.
Yeah, give me the Broncos here. Number 1 defense in the league. Got Bo Nix on the other side, expecting them to be a little bit better on the offensive side. But I mean, yeah, give me the Broncos here. I'm expecting the Colts to return to their mean. So easy Broncos win here. Heading to another easy game maybe for one team. The Carolina Panthers heading to Arizona to face the Cardinals. Who you got?
This to me is the saddest story in the NFL. I want to see Bryce Young absolutely ball out. Unfortunately, that's not the reality. He's playing on the Panthers. They have no run game, no pass game, no offense, no defense. And it's honestly just heartbreaking to see somebody that you want to see overcome the expectations and you want to see him overcome the hate. But at the same time, being realistic, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw the Panthers start out the season 0-4, 1-5. I'm gonna take the Cardinals in this game, and I'm gonna feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, as much as I want to see the Panthers and especially Bryce Young do well, they looked absolutely atrocious in week one. Didn't carry any of the momentum from last season's end over. So give me the Cardinals here. Feel like that's a pretty easy pick just based on how week one performances went. All right. I don't know how this game isn't a primetime game, but a Super Bowl rematch, Eagles at the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Who you got?
You could go either way, and you could reason either way, but let's just keep it short and sweet. Give me the Eagles. Give me the Eagles. The Chiefs suffered. Well, they still have Rice out from suspension, but they also had Xavier Worthy get hurt. Yeah, I just lost my train of thought. Give me the Eagles by give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I think there hasn't been any official reports, but Xavier Worthy is likely going to be out this week. So again, no Worthy, no Rashee Rice. It's just Travis Kelce and Hollywood Brown. So still, you look at the matchup. I love this matchup. I know I watched this with JC last year, but the Eagles are such a bad matchup for the Chiefs just based on how well they do in the trenches. They can mitigate Chris Jones, and then on the other side, their defensive line really attacked Chiefs offensive line well. So, the Chiefs offensive line is a little bit better, but give me the Eagles here in a close one. Give me the Eagles 24-21. I think they head to Arrowhead and they get the win here. Okay, Sunday Night Football. Your Vikings having a home game hosting the Falcons. Who you got?
So I'm gonna go Vikings easily here. I'm sure that a lot of people saw what was going on last game, prime time. For some reason, we are playing at 7 again. I think I'd agree that the Chiefs and the Eagles probably might have been a better idea, but nonetheless, McCarthy looked good second half. When you're playing an opponent that it's not even funny. When when you're playing an opponent that paints his nails and does TikTok dances, you're gonna dude. Alright. Alright, hold on. Shit. Take it from the top here. The Vikings look great in the second half against the Bears. McCarthy showed us the type of player that he can be. I know you're a McCarthy guy because you love Michigan, rightfully so. He's a stud. He's a franchise quarterback waiting to blossom. The Falcons look good week 1, but besides the fact that I'm never gonna fade my own home team, I think it's just more probable the Vikings have more momentum. They're gonna be at home. I think they get it done by 3 points, a field goal, probably a game on time field goal as well.
Give me the Falcons by 3 in this matchup. I think Michael Penix comes in. He had I think a very solid week 1. So yeah, I'm expecting him. Bijan looked great. Drake London, I think they had a few misses there, and he is a little injured and a little banged up. But give me the Falcons here by 3. I think they go in. Penix plays significantly better than McCarthy, and that's why they come out with the win here. Okay, 2 Monday Night Football games this week. I don't know why they do this in the early ones, but the first one, the early slot on Monday Night Football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Houston Texans. Who you got?
Well, I mean, the Texans came out flat, and I was kind of expecting that for whatever reason. I just felt like CJ Stroud wasn't gonna wasn't wasn't. I just felt like the Texans came out a little flat. CJ Stroud wasn't really slinging it. On the contrary, the Buccaneers have a stud in the making, Abunka. Probably not even saying that last name right. He looked awesome. He had 2 touchdowns, couple catches. Because of that, and just the fact that the Buccaneers seem more stacked offensively, they really have no holes. I'm going to go Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Buccaneers here as well. The loss of Liam Cohen, we talked about in our last podcast. We were going to say, how is that going to affect this team? We didn't think that it was going to be a massive drop off, and I think it proved to be that this past week. So, love to see Ibuka. I think that was someone that we were both very high on, and he stepped into that role very well this week. So, give me the Buccaneers to go into to Houston and come out with a win, 31-24. I think this is more of a higher scoring game. All right, last matchup of the week, an AFC West divisional matchup. The Los Angeles Chargers head to Las Vegas to face the Raiders. Who you got?
I think the way that the rookies all looked first week, it's not to say that these guys won't be good. It's just to say that it might take a little bit more time. So, with that being said, you got the Hampton Inn versus Genty over here. As far as the run game goes, I don't expect it to be super powerful. I don't expect it to be in its final form yet. So at that point, the way I want to look at this game is Herbert versus
Geno
Smith. And when you have Herbert versus Geno Smith, I give the edge to the Chargers.
I'm also going to take the Chargers here. Give me the Chargers 31-17. I'm expecting a much bigger game from Najee Harris and especially Amari and Hampton, Mr. Hampton Inn. The Patriots could not run the ball at all on the Raiders. And that's not to say that the Raiders' defensive line is bad, but the Patriots' offensive line was really struggling. I expect a much better offensive line with Joe Alt looking like a stud at left tackle. Give me the Chargers to have a much better running game this game than what the Patriots gave the Raiders last week. Give me the Chargers by 2 touchdowns in this game. Are you good for another segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Let's do power rankings. That one's more fun. I just want to hear your top 5 teams on your power rankings. Maybe start at number 5, make your way to 1, and just give a quick, brief reason why they are your top 5. Or I'll start and let you kind of think about this.
You started off. I'll get back to you.
All right, at number 5, I'm gonna take the Kansas City Chiefs. I know they lost to the Chargers this week, and honestly, I would have had them higher if they won. But I think that the rookie performance from their new left tackle Josh Simmons was really solid. Obviously, losing Xavier Worthy it hurts, but still, I expect this team to get better as the year goes on, especially as they get Rashee Rice back and hopefully get Xavier Worthy back. But almost came back. Mahomes looked magical in that performance. Give me the Chiefs at number 5. At number 4, Give me the Green Bay Packers, a team that was probably outside my top 5, probably maybe the top 10 before this game, but their defense was excellent. If you go back and watch the film, the way they were pressuring Goff, the way they were dropping back in coverage, their secondary looked absolutely amazing, something that was kind of a weak point of last year. Give me the Packers here at 4. At number 3, give me the Eagles. Again, a team that I think would, be number 1 for most teams, but kind of a weak performance against the Cowboys. Still came away with the win, which is huge. I think Saquon looked good, but not giving the ball to AJ Brown as much. I think their defense kind of lacked in some areas. Give me the Eagles at number 3. At number 2, a team that lost this week, but looked significantly better than last year somehow. Still got the loss in what might have been one of the best Sunday night football games of all time. Giving the Baltimore Ravens at 2, a team that I am extremely high on. Lamar looked amazing. DeAndre Hopkins had an amazing one-handed snag. And outside of his fumble that really hurt them in the end, but still looked amazing, was Derrick Henry. Give me the Ravens at 2. And at number 1, the winner of that Sunday night football game, give me the Bills. I think this team looks sound. I think their defense obviously struggled with Lamar Jackson, but that's not to say that they had a bad defensive performance. They stepped up when it mattered, when they needed to get the ball back, and they still have an absolute beast of Sean McDermott coaching the defense. Give me the Bills at number 1. JC, who's your top 5 power rankings?
All right, it's going to look pretty similar here. So we got a number 5, Hampton Inn and the Chargers. It's basically a team that it seems like they go up and down, but something's telling me that this is Herbert's year. Yeah, he looked good week 1. That might just be my intuition talking, but we'll see if Harbaugh can keep this team up in the top 5. At number 4, give me the Washington Commanders. It's not like they blew anybody's socks off, but they did what they needed to do. And you got a really, really strong quarterback over there, and who I like to call Robert Griffin the fourth, especially being that he plays for Washington. Let's get right up to 3. We got Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions with a potent offense, not to mention the Eagles absolutely shit in the Chiefs' mouths last year in the Super Bowl. I hope that you guys all saw that. Me and Gamer Owen saw that live. It was one of the best football games I've ever watched in my life for all the Chiefs fans out there. But I think we see another good year from Saquon Barkley. Yeah, he took 370 carries last year. Yeah, he's going to take a beating this year. We'll see how his body holds up. Dude's a specimen. He's as close as you can get to Derrick Henry, plus he's faster. So I think that the run game's going to keep on establishing that team over there. Number 2 and 1. Obviously, you have the Ravens and the Bills. Ravens at 2, Bills at 1. The Ravens every year just seems like a team that's basically locked to go to the playoffs and, make it 1 rounds, 2 rounds in. But they never feel like a Super Bowl favorite. If I have $100 in my pocket and I'm looking at this top 5 list of teams right now, I got to pick one. I'm going the Bills, right? Josh Allen's going to turn his receivers into studs yet again, like he does every year. We're probably going to be hearing guys' names catching touchdowns on the Bills that you didn't even know were on the roster. So that's my top 5. Big year for the Bills, Super Bowl for the Bills. Hopefully, cross your fingers, and let's get on with it.
All right, into our final segment. No, this is a shorter podcast, but not a whole lot of news this week, just some matchups. I'm going to provide you with two different coaches that we think that are on the hot seat. Just two simple coaches that we think might not make it towards the end of the year, especially after maybe a rough week 1 on top of some bad past years. So JC, we'll start with you. Maybe your number 2 candidate and then your number 1 candidate.
Well, let's see here. It's between Brian Dable and Miami Mike McDaniel. They don't necessarily have any particular order, but I would say the worst of it would have to be Miami Mike McDaniel, just because of how bad that team got spanked. I don't think that anybody was expecting it. It was the Colts. The Colts come out, they get it done 33-8. Let me pull up the box score right here. Tua turned the ball over, had 2 interceptions for 114 yards. Zach Milf F and Wilson came into the game, 32 yards. Devon Achan, who is basically game script proof. He looked good. He was efficient, 8 yards a carry, ripped out a 26-yard run. But you go through the rest of the team and it's like it all dries up. Not to say that that's necessarily all going to be on Miami Mike McDaniel, but you got Tyreek Hill looking like he's on the cusp of retirement. Jalen Waddle, who really never seems to get the ball in his hands enough. And then Achan just putting this team on his back. It wasn't enough. They still got spanked by 25 points to the Colts, but I want to see what you have to think about that.
Yeah, I think those are two great candidates. I'll piggyback off one of those, Mike McDaniel. Listen, I think it's more of a cultural issue. I think everyone knows he was heading into the hot seat this year. When you have that much talent, you pay Tua, $55 million a year. You make this big trade for Tyreek Hill. He had one great year and then really slacked last year, and now is slacking this year. Also, he's really inhibiting the culture there. And then you're just not utilizing Jalen Waddle, who you also extended. Achan, whatever it is. He's the only one being properly utilized on this offensive side. And then on the defensive side, Jack Jones is your cornerback one. I know me and you both predicted the Dolphins to make the playoffs, but just seeing how these injuries are decimating not only their offensive line, but their defense. And then we really expected Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to be properly utilized here. And they just aren't. So give me Mike McDaniel to be one. Another one from what's going on with your mic there? Another one from a team that won this week, but I don't think is properly using all their weapons, just like the Dolphins. Give me Zach Taylor from the Cincinnati Bengals. I think if they don't make the playoffs this year, he's gone. And if they really start off the year like they did last year, say they're 4-5 or something like that, wouldn't be surprised if he's gone. Again, you extended T. Higgins, you extended Jamar Chase, you extended Joe Burrow, and now you have Chase Brown, which you don't have to extend on the offense. Jamar Chase was not properly utilized week one. T. Higgins had a mediocre performance for his standards, and the offense only scored 17 points. It's going to be a miracle if they can hold teams to 16 points every week. I don't think it's going to happen on teams that, aren't the Browns. So give me the Bengals just because they're not utilizing their weapons, and it's a coach that we already expected to be on the hot seat. JC, any closing thoughts, any rebuttals to that?
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody that the Saints actually are playing the 49ers this week. And you can't forget about that because I know nobody's going to watch it straight up. Nobody's going to see it on Red Zone. That game is legitimately not going to come on Red Zone. Scott Hansen's going to be flipping through the games, and you're going to have like the Eagles taking a punt return. That's going to get the screen time over Rattlesnake throwing an incomplete touchdown pass to Olave over there. So that's my closing remarks.
JC, who on your fantasy team this week are you expecting to go off? Who is one player on your roster that you are expecting to just absolutely tear apart, maybe get a 30 piece?
I think it's going to be Genty. I really do. I loaded up on rookies. I got House Call Hendy. I got Harvey. I got the Hampton Inn. I'm well allocated. I love my rookies, especially at the running back position. But you can't tell me Genty isn't just another Bijan waiting to happen. This dude was a stud. He's got all the intangibles. He's got a nose for the end zone. I'll be surprised if he doesn't get a touchdown in 80 yards, right? But I'm almost expecting, and I know this isn't a high probability situation, I'm almost expecting him to rip off 2 touchdowns and maybe 120 all-purpose yards for 30 points. What do you think about that?
I love it, and I have Genty in one of my other leagues, and I have Hampton too. So I'm really hopeful on the rookie running backs, especially with Vegas and LA Chargers, two teams that face off on Monday night. Would love for them to be better. I escaped with a win in our league. The Mayflower lives to see 1-0, while your team unfortunately lost the game but had the most points among the losers. Just a rough string of luck, but as we head into that, I'm expecting your team to bounce back this week, and I hope to beat Crashy Rice over there with Nick Brady. So
easy win over there. That kid doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, unfortunately, he has a lot of similar players that I have in some of my other leagues. So, and I have a lot of overlap. So, JC, thank you for joining us on this short week 2 preview podcast. Love talking NFL ball with you. Love talking fantasy. All these, you make some really funny clips. Couldn't stop laughing today, but really appreciate you taking the time out to join us. And enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks, man. You too. I had a great time being on tonight. It was super fun. So